Welcome everyone to Littlefish anniversary event, 1 year of Littlefish. Thank you all for being here. We're going to celebrate 1 year of Littlefish with all our friends joining us from all over the world. So many nationalities, so many different faces here. It's really nice to see. It's really actually emotional. It's been a year here. So today we're going to share a bunch of stories about what we've been doing. We're going to do a little guided storytelling session. Let's call it that. That sounds nice. So we're going to start it off with this presentation, but we want it to be not a one-way monologue, but a conversation between all of these friends from all over the world. So if at any point, just hop in that conversation and share your stories. And at the end, we're going to look to the future of Littlefish. We're going to have 2 breakout rooms that we'll get to talking a little bit later on. All right. Open it now. One moment. Oh man, I always mistake those 2. All right, Jem, please take it away.
Thank you, Çakan. Before getting into the Littlefish Foundation, I want to express the current situation we are all living in right now. The world we live in is not as it should be. We feel this as kids and we feel this as adults. We are educated to be engineers and workers, but schools don't teach us real life. They don't teach us how to communicate, how to make friends, how to love, and have a purpose. We live in a world where we have limited control over our work, the cities we live in, and the schedule we operate with. These things are controlled not by us, but the system we are part of, companies, governments, and institutions. To have a dinner with the loved ones, we spend most of our lives with those we never know. Can we pass? Thank you, Çakan. I'm here in the Catalyst community since Fund 6. In one of the swarm sessions, I entered a breakout room called Cardano for Climate. And I met Melanie, Nori, Yoram, and Simon there. Altogether, we started building Cardano for Climate. Every member was contributing to the community with their professions. I made a video for the challenge setting and the website for Cardano for Climate. People were working with their responsibilities without any bosses. And the results were fantastic, as always. In one of the C4C meetings, I expressed my intention to create a proposal for Littlefish Foundation to Yoram and Melanie. Do you remember that day, Yoram? Yeah, it was fantastic. Meantime, we were working with Çakan in my data center in Ankara. We were, for more than 2 years, we were talking about there should be another internet. And maybe you know, the internet is not decentralized right now. And the current infrastructure of the internet is controlled by the institutions, and it is not absolutely free. I told my experience on Catalyst ecosystem to Çakan, and we started writing our first proposal. As individuals who have been part of this ecosystem, we realized something else is possible. We call ourselves Littlefish and experiment with working and living with our values. We believe Littlefish are in many, but not organized. Now we have the technology to bring Littlefish together. Çakan?
We started with the F7 proposal almost a year ago. We wanted to do sustainable development goals funding, a platform like Kiva, and that was the original idea. It took us maybe 3-4 days to write a proposal about it. Didn't get funded, but then we progressed, we processed and kept going. But at this point, like the original team that was there, a lot of them are also in this room. And I would love for them to hop in the conversation and tell us about what we were doing back in the day, the F7 proposal, what we were thinking, and of course this amazing thing that happened, that was the donation process, the first and only donation process that we planned would go on for a long time. I'm gonna call people out on the spot, but Yoram, could you jump in and tell us?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think Jem and Chakan started to speak immediately. First of all, I mean, let's not underestimate, I think, the importance of Jem to Cardano for Climate. I mean, it's incredible when we just started and we said, okay, we need a website. Boom, couple of days after, there is a website. I mean, and then a video, right? And it kind of gave us a big kickoff. And so it was obvious when he started to come with his own ideas, we said, okay, how can we help, right? What can we do and how can we help? And yeah, obviously everyone jumped in. And yeah, I mean, originally the idea was to create kind of a Kiva type. Not even a Kiva type, because the idea was not actually to have investment, but actually to create, because Kiva is kind of an investment and you get back your money, but without interest. If everyone knows kiva.org, it's an incredible site. It's an incredible site, but there are some flaws there. It's not really decentralized. So there is some flaws there that we tried to fix. So we worked a lot around this model in the beginning, but for kind of donation. So imagine that you can directly donate to a certain cause, and yeah, started to work around this model and create a community, weekly meetings. A lot of fun, a lot of ideas coming together. Yeah, really starting something, like a beginning. I don't know if
Thank you, Yoram.
yeah, I will now pinpoint Nori maybe to add more.
Just quickly,
Yeah.
sorry, Nori, go ahead.
Sebastian, yeah.
Go ahead, Sebastian.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to say that during that first donation round, we didn't actually meet the goal, right? I think we were $1,000 short, and it was Agape Pool that intervened and put the rest of the money for that one. So I know they're not here in this call, but just to say thank you to them, wherever they are.
Yeah, that was amazing that they jumped in. So yeah, we put, I don't know if you remember all the process, but we put a objective of, I don't remember how much, $2,000 or $1,000.
$1,000. Yeah.
1,000, and we collected it from the community member in order to create a donation process. Like everyone can offer offering several donation opportunities. Everyone can offer a donation opportunity, explain it, and then we decide where to donate the money. And Sebastian said that Edapol jumped in and helped us to fill up the gap.
Yeah, and I'll add just the amazing ability for the original crew to just kind of pivot and re-envision and keep moving. And I love the experimentation. The first donation round didn't have a whole lot of technology around it. There were no smart contracts or anything like that moving it. And it was just like, get it done and how can we raise the money? And but the vision was there and the direction and the goal. And then I'm sure we're going to talk about, but the next pivot starts to happen. And it's like, it's just really amazing that you're able to go out there and try something, sense it, kind of see how it goes. And then like, how can we make this bigger, better? What can we become? And yeah, I really love the whole process and seeing how you guys evolved. Just to share a story from about this time, Chakan and Jem and me and some of the other salmon pool guys, Jeremy and Brian, got together because we were talking about stake pools back then and how can we do stake pools together. And Jem was talking about all these really complicated key encryption boxes and devices that we could use to make things super secure and all that. And yeah, just the energy back then of just trying to think of what we can do together and collaborate. And that was the biggest theme that I took out, is just this willingness to collaborate and reach out and work with people to see what we can build. And yeah, and that continues to this day. So I'm super happy to be involved and know everybody here. So yeah, I just want to add a little bit of that.
Yeah, and I add to that, think about it. We knew each other, I don't know, for a month probably. I mean, right? I mean, Really not much, and we just say, okay, I mean, let's do it, right? German Chekan just inspired so much, and yeah, that's, I think, also amazing. We still didn't have breakfast over pajamas back then, and
I was coming to all the calls with pajamas. You just don't know. But thank you guys for sharing. So jump back into the guided storytelling session. I like that. That's going to be a thing now. Right. So we did the manual donation session, and from that I learned doing that manually sucks. Like that's the terrible thing to do. It's really difficult. Kudos to all the people that do it, but it's just not a thing that we could do. At least like I wanted to stay away from that. And then we took some time. We did like weekly meetings where we talked about everything that we could be doing. We were just gathering, talking about blockchain, Cardano, what we can do, how we can use this technology in such a way that it impacts the world. We were very focused on that sustainable development goals. We want to impact the world coming out of Cardano for climate. And then we realized like it's kind of difficult to operate in this environment. Things are getting lost. It's not really clear what is going on. And then we realized we had this insight like 3 days before the Fund 8 proposal. We called it, we had this idea of the action already up on our mirror boards. But we said, what if we put all the things that we did, document them and put them as an NFT, and then we could have that be shown and then see what is going on. And that was the insight that got us motivated to write a proposal in 3 days. We did like a workshop session with Yoram to edit that proposal and get it funded. And the only reason that I guess like we got it through because we really believed in it and it pushed it forward. And this all came out of us understanding the dynamics of what it means to work in this environment, because it's been new to us. For me, it's been like 4 months. For Jem, I guess since maybe at that point 7 or 8 months. But we had to be operating in a different manner. We were self-managing. We were operating with a group that is global. We were operating with a group that is completely remote. These are new concepts to us. Like we were in the COVID session, so remote was new, but everything else just entirely new. And so we thought action could be a solution to all this. So see. So we outlined this all in the white paper, and I'm going to try to go through this quickly. So to give you guys who are not familiar with what we do, an understanding of what we do. So individuals in this space need to operate in a different way. They operate, we identified 4 things that are really important. They need to be taking individual leadership roles instead of specific roles. They can take initiatives. They can just push for themselves and get people behind them for collective efforts. They work entirely asynchronously and then connect in few ways, unlike traditional organizations. And most of you are familiar with this through Catalyst. People just participate voluntarily just because they want to, which is a very interesting thing. You don't have this idea in a business. You just do what you're told. But here, the individuals come in, they like what we do, they hop on board and they help us out. And that's a natural part of this thing. And the background of all of this is that everything is changing all the time. So you got to adapt. You got to adapt all the time. And we call these types of organizations that work in this manner network organizations. And this is the problem space that we're trying to solve in. This is what we thought actions would be a good way to solve it. But before we get to that, I guess if you guys have anything you'd like to share on the Fund 8, what we were doing back then, and how you saw like the transition, because for a time, I guess it was kind of interesting, that transition from the Fund 7 idea of SDG funding to this new idea of action. And then we tried to implement this all in our Discord, where everybody's sharing what they were doing to tell their stories of what they were doing. And that period was, I guess, if anybody would love to share, that would be great.
I can say that the first system was mostly designed for activism, to get people together to make activism, because people not are available right now to go to activism events and other stuff because of the locations and geolocations and the pandemic. So it's such that if there's a fire somewhere, if you are not there, you can help the people dealing with the fire, and you can send them resources easily. So when we come to the Fund 8, we think that it can be applicable for all kinds of organizations, not only for activism. And we also wanted to have a proof of activity, because how people will pay their money. It's obvious that we should need some proof. So we started thinking about the NFTs at that time, and action came at that point in Zeytinlikuyu'yu, Çağkan.
So what we did was, after we wrote the proposal, we said, okay, we got to go and think about all this. And then we went into this summer house, and then we thought for like 7 days straight, just thinking, just talking. And then it was basically philosophy. And we just did philosophy of what we wanted to do. How do we want to configure all this? Like what are our values? What do we want to build? We could be talking technology, but technology came afterwards, and we're still trying to figure out that bit, I guess. But because we established those values, it connected so well with all the things we're doing. I feel like the thing that connects this community is those values of how we want to build, how we want to enable these types of communities. And I think that connects really well to the concept of ikigai. And maybe you guys were familiar with all this, but so we found this out, like, I guess, back in April. We found this real mirror template. It says what you love, what you're good at, what you can be paid for, and what the world needs. And it resonated immediately with all of us. And we just took it on and built with it. Like, because we had established the values, we put something related to the individual. Like, the individual needs to find fulfillment through what they do in this space. Like, thinking about self-management, thinking about voluntary participation. Like, the individuals, they're making a decision voluntarily to participate. So what they participate in should lead to some sort of fulfillment, both in what they want to do, their passions, but also monetarily. So once we found this idea, that was like a match made in heaven. This is like, okay, this is the journey that gets us there. So we took this on, and what we're doing is we're trying to build this into software. We're using this as an idea. We're doing workshops with it. Like this image right on the right side is the first ikigai that we did. It was me trying to understand my role inside of this organization. But to put it in simple terms, this is one of the reviewers that put it. Ikigai is the sweet spot where competence, passion, a higher purpose, and economic incentives meet together. It's a very good way to put it, that some reviewer got us there. And we're going to be talking ikigai in the breakout rooms as well. So if you're interested, jump into those as well. But one thing we realized once we were through the white paper, writing that, trying to understand this space, is the nature of network organizations. we evolved from the individual to the network organization. So we were thinking, how does this kind of work? There are no bosses. There's no 9 to 5. The participants are global and remote. These organizations kind of work better at scale because everybody's working in multiple organizations. So what you need is the alignment of all these individuals going in the same direction. And if we can kind of solve that problem, which is a very high level meta problem that everybody's in the space, I guess, is trying to solve in one way or another. If we figure that out, then the potential is quite unbounded. If you can get thousands of people in these network organizations to work towards common goals in a good way, in a congruent, in a way that is aligned, then you can do anything. You can change systems with this. And that's what we felt once we figured out all the philosophy. So what we did then, I'm going to skip through these fast. We wrote a bunch of proposals, got them funded, and now we're kicking. We're just running off with all these funded proposals. Some didn't get funded, but that's okay. Got 4 in, and thank you all for participating in all of this. You are making this reality. Like we're building this with our community. Like you're helping us build this. We're building it together. Like we wouldn't be able to build any of it if it wasn't for all of you helping us out. So, and at that stage, I want to, before we get here, drop it off to you guys who've been helping us build this. Like Newman, you've been here the longest, so I want to pass it on to you.
Oh,
You and after we wrote the proposals, and you've been helping us quite a bit. So please take it away.
yeah. Yeah, I'd love to share my story about that. And it definitely came down to sort of this idea of the philosophy and getting aligned with the philosophy and doing action. Activism, actions, seeing the issues and the problems and the future opportunities. Like this network organization thing is not going away. And I just feel like I have found a little home, very welcoming and very a great place to like put my ikigai into practice. I've kind of come to see that my ikigais work shoulder to shoulder with folks, and it's just the opportunity is here to do that. If you want to put your oar in the water with folks on the boat, if you want to like get out into the field with your farm implements, this is the place. This is the place to do it. I found that place to do it, and I'm loving the sprints every week, sprints all the time, and getting things done. It's really, really incredible when you start to see the fruits of your working in concert with others. And I think it was something. It was like a group that we facilitated, and I found myself facilitating a group and being better than I thought. And I was like, I think I'm good at this. And then you were like, no, you're great at that. This is what we want you to do. Will you come and do this? And I was like, yeah, this is fantastic. And then just the support and then the opportunities. Yeah, it was really, really cool.
Thank you, Newman. I'm going to call you out. Harsha, take it away, man. After Newman, I think it was Harsha that hopped in and started helping us out.
Yeah, technically I should say I should have like joined before Newman, but for the longest time I was thinking it's all about like fish conservation or something like ocean conservation, and I didn't join until Niels from Social Design Academy said you should join. I think you'd really like enjoy it. And then finally I went to a meeting, and then I don't think I've missed a meeting since, at least in the groups that I participate in. And it was really great because I've spent a lot of time looking for different DAOs where I can find a value alignment, and finally I feel like I found a home. So it was really awesome.
Thank you for that, Harsha. love for you guys to hop in and share the stories of like what you've been doing, maybe how you found us. Many of you know us, so please hop in the conversation and tell your stories.
I just want to say some sentimental stuff about myself and Littlefish. Before I joined Littlefish, I was working in a big pharmaceutical company as a white collar worker. And first time Jem and Chakan explained me what Littlefish is, I just wanted to jump in and be a part of the experiment. And I'm so glad that I pulled this experiment and stopped working for a big pharmaceutical company and stopped working for Littlefish, and they try to understand Catalyst and what Cardano did for our lives. So this is my story as a Littlefish, and I hope I become one other little fishes and join the swimming with other little fishes in the same direction with like-minded people. And it's wonderful thing to be people. You are not in the same place, but in same state of mind, working with them, understanding them, be with them and learn from them. It's something priceless. You can't put a price tag this stuff. So thank you guys for being yourself, being trying to understand yourself and understand your ikigai, and that's wonderful. I'm so glad that meet all of you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks, MJ.
Yeah, I will add it until someone else jump in. That one of the most emotional meetings was actually when Jem introduced his wife, and she said that.
Yeah.
I mean, he said, yeah, it was late at night, and Jem introduced her, and she said that he works so hard, and she said that she is so happy. I mean, she is very tough for her, obviously, but he said she's very happy because he's working for something that she feels is very important. It was very, very emotional and nice to see it. So yeah.
Yeah, it was, I think, in one of the Dream Engine events sessions. We should put that one on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was amazing. I showed it to my wife also, so she can also tell me that he can keep on working.
Yeah.
I read it as "Stop stealing my husband away from me." No,
Yeah.
the show is beautiful.
Yeah, there is sacrifice, and then it's just sort of like making it worth it. We all have to spend our time, and to do it with this group is, with the whole of Project Catalyst, like all of us in these overlapping things that this working in a network decentralized thing with these shared values and principles. So it works out great. One to one.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I think this relates to me very much. I have this project or this idea of balance inside out or inside out balance, and I've been thinking and reading and reflecting about the little fish and the involvement with the ikigai up there, and in reality, is very, very much what we are looking for, all of us. And it's funny. This weekend. I was with the family and in Netherlands, and they were telling me how the company that they work for the University of Delft, and the way to incentive them is they give them a lot of free time, lots of free time. He has like a year of 300 years off ready for him, And he said, no, I'm not going to take them, because if I take them, all my project goes behind, and I just can leave my team down because of that. And I was thinking about these type of incentive systems where you really like work because you like it, because you really find yourself doing what you are doing. And I said, gee, I mean, there is no second thought. Little Fish is the place to be, and Ikigai is also the system. Just want to share that.
Thank you, Juan, so much. We're going to be taking Ikigai much more seriously and building it out for everybody to use. We've been playing with it. We had fun, but it's now time to let you all have fun with it as well. So we're going to do many workshops on it. And after the session, we're going to hold a breakout room to talk about organizational Ikigai, what that means. And tomorrow, we're going to be doing that for Gimbal Labs. So if you want to hop into the Gimbal Labs playground session and do a organizational Ikigai for Gimbal Labs, please hop in. We're going to have some fun. And
looking forward to that one. And thanks for that idea, Chakan. Really awesome.
yeah, that once we played around with the idea of Ikigai, it just develops into all these different perspectives of how you can approach it. You can do personal, you can do organizational, team-wise, to understand what you value collectively. You can think about how you want to make money from all the things you do, taking a look at what you love and how you can make money. So it kind of allows you to do a lot of things. Yeah, Lucas.
Yeah, I was looking at George. He has his hand up first.
Oh, sorry.
Thought I would just start queuing up because
Zoom
maybe that
sucks.
would.
Okay,
Yeah.
who raised their hands first, please? George?
Me. Okay,
All
yeah,
right,
thanks,
go ahead.
Chokan. Thanks, Peter. Yeah, it's been for me, like Chair mentioned, like it was like when I came into Cardano, it was so different. And when I joined in, it was Melanie, and then Nori, Newman, and Yoram, and all the teams coming together and moderating, helping us to understand what is different people coming in, still onboarding at the same time, being able to see or what is the value you can bring in, or getting to understand or express your views. What do you have to share? And slowly got introduced to Shaman, Littlefish as a Littlefish, how we can all come together. It was interesting to see the picture at the beginning where the little fishes were about to eat the big shark, and I was questioning, like, how can no, I didn't see the little fishes at that time. It looked like a big fish eating another big fish. Why do we want a picture where little fish is being eaten by a bigger fish? It was nice, but yeah, it opened up a lot of things for me, and at that time, good conversations with Shem, and then I was introduced to Conma too with Vinay and team, and slowly I was in between the three programs and said, okay, where do I want to spend my time in? And I had to move to Conma with Vinay and team. But yeah, I definitely look forward to working more with both the teams, and we do have a lot of partnerships and things we can take. I look forward to that. Yeah, thanks, guys. Yeah. Appreciate all the support. Thank you.
Thank you, George.
Thank you, George. We're looking to
Thanks,
working
Sam.
closer with Conway as well. Looking to do some organizational Ikigai with you guys. I think,
Cool.
I'm not sure, correct me if I'm wrong. Is that Curtis? You raise your hand first. Was it Lucas?
Peter.
It's
Lucas.
a different way for
It
me.
was Lucas. It was
Zoom
Lucas.
sucks.
Yeah, okay. I think it orders from top to bottom, but it's sometimes a bit dodgy. So I just want to say hi to everyone. Congratulations to Littlefish for first year. Very happy to be a part. I started in Gimbal Labs. I still consider Gimbal Labs to be my it's always going to be the first place where I got acquainted with this weird way of working and collaborating. I was used to the 9 to 5 things where you get to meetings and people are making notes of who's going to do what and actions and all that. And in Gimbal Labs, it was really weird because it was just, okay, things need to be done. Let's go away and do them. And in here, I found a different flavor of that. And as you can see by my smile, it's always been very fun to discuss things and to share efforts. So I really want to, maybe if I may, invite everyone in the call to come by, ask for access to our calendar or something, or Google Calendar, I think, Shakan, where you can find all the events that we have along the weeks. So there's a Dream Engine where Jem is leading, creating AI art for littlefish. There's a Tech Hub where we help users to get more at ease with technology. There's the Forge where someone like Donald here, he's keeping very quiet, but shout out to Donald for helping us, or being the lead man on building the app for actions to get actions done in a more organized way. There's also Org Labs, which I love because we discuss organizations in a different way. Nori's taking the lead on some of that content. And yeah, so just to praise everyone here for contributing. And I hope that I'm a late bloomer in almost everything. So I'm trying to get productive and the actions, and everyone's helping a lot with the sprints and everything. And as well, I'd like to point out we have amazing Miro sessions with Shakan, forcing us or shepherding us into, okay, let's get something done. Don't think, just drop things in the board. We're gonna scramble it around. And so this is my view of Littlefish day to day, and very happy to be a part. Congrats, everyone.
Oh man, thank you. That is kind of how I feel when we do those sessions.
Oh yeah.
Forced shepherding. I like that. Yeah. Curtis, go ahead.
Yeah, along with many others here, I found, I believe I started in Catalyst, and that's kind of where a lot of the fingers, spread out from Catalyst, but discovering projects like Swarm and Gimbal Labs, C4C, Sustainable Ada, Veritree, I kind of found some of those communities and just aligned a lot with them, and passions were discovered there. And it was an amazing experience, and then of course came across Littlefish, and it was definitely enjoyable. And I believe it was a natural progression that many here discovered Littlefish. I see so many faces here that I also see in many other communities. And Littlefish is one of those spaces that allow its members to find their passions, exercise those passions, and find means to support their needs with this passion. And I think every space that led these individuals to Littlefish is offering the same opportunity, Swarm and C4C. And there's so many common interests here. And I'm excited to hear all about the stories from people that found their path to their journey, with resources like this. And I think there's a lot of opportunities between all these groups. They all provide their own opportunities, and we as a community are leveraging this and building this vision of a better society and a more passionate life. When you fulfill yourself, you're you have abundance, and you can offer others that abundance, and then it helps contribute to their joy in their life. And that's what I'm getting from all these groups, not just Littlefish, but Littlefish, obviously. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Yes. Thanks, Curtis.
Oh man, so well put. Thank you, Curtis, so much. That is so true. Like, I feel like all these Catalyst communities that we're around, all the great faces here, that's exactly what they're doing. Like, they're providing the space for everybody to communicate and collaborate so that we can just share and just be more happy, or more fulfilled individuals, just following their passions, which is a beautiful thing. That is, Catalyst is doing that for us, and it's just, I'm super grateful all of this. Like I wouldn't have imagined this 1 year back. Like seriously. Nori, go ahead.
Thanks. So lovely to see so many people and faces here. And like Curtis said, like I see so many of the same faces in different communities and different meetings, and over again we come together. Yeah, I have a feeling that there was a silent call that went out into the universe that something new needs to be born, that the old system is not working, and each and every one of us heard that call in some way and came together into this space because there was hope, or we were just drawn here. And I think the best and the brightest are kind of hearing that call and answering it and showing up. And you see it in Swarm, you see it in Gimbal Labs, you see it in C4C, you see it in Littlefish. All these organizations forming with passionate people doing what they love. And I'm super happy to be a part of this community and a part of a number of other communities. I think that's kind of the future of work, is we find those groups that we resonate with, and we work a little bit here, a little bit there, and we contribute where we can. And the thing that really made me really jump into Littlefish was just hearing that Chakan and Jem really loved to embrace the ideal of teal organizations, and where people can show up with wholeness, self-management, and evolutionary purpose. And yes, James has the book. I have the book. Like we all keep these on our desks because it's so
right next to the desk. That's right. That's right. We keep it. In case you need to make a reference, you got to look something up. Yeah.
exactly. And I think these things are really important, and Littlefish is actually embodying it. These are the stated principles, and this is what Littlefish is about. And for people to be able to show up as their whole person and not have to have their business kind of persona is so great, because we unlock so much potential when people can just show up as their whole selves. And that's the vision and the future that I really want to work towards. And that's why I'm here, is really, this is a space where that can happen. And from this seed and other communities, we can share, and all these great ideas flow back and forth. And as a whole, this whole community can evolve and get better. Because I think each and every one of us hears that call, and there's this better future out there, and none of us knows exactly what it looks like, but we're trusting the process, we're trusting the community. And I love that it's relational. Like I know most of the people here on some kind of individual basis. We've worked together, we've had conversations, we've done things, and I love that about the community. It's not just a job, it's friends, it's family, and yeah, it's all about that connection. So yeah, thanks everybody for everything you do.
That's awesome, man.
Thought
Thank you,
you'll be
Nori.
sharing this book, the Ikigai, but you showed the reinventing, but it's good. Thanks, Nori.
Thank you, Nori. I find it difficult to make the distinction between work and my life. You know, like it's really difficult. Like the people in my life, like I can't make that distinction. Like you're my friend, come build with me. Like I wouldn't do that if I was running a startup. Like, but I try to pull in as many people in. It's like come build. You know, it's a community with your friends. We're building together. It's such a different perspective than what you do otherwise, but it is great. Maybe that we're running to the end of the hour, and I want to respect everybody's time. So I'm going to jump into the end of this presentation and talk about the future, what's going on, what we're doing. All right, jump back in. All right, so our focus right now is we have a lot of things going on. We have our weekly calls, but today we're going to announce one thing, is we're going to create the story of action NFT collection, which we're going to figure out what it means. But what it is we've done all these things. What we're going to do is we're going to write our stories that have evolved into all of these concepts. Like how did Ikigai emerge? How did the idea of the actions emerge? What did we do to understand teal organizations? We're going to create an NFT collection that represents all of that. And we're going to have awesome AI art like this to cover all of this. And we're going to try to get some funding through this, but we're going to build this as a community because we're discovering all of those concepts together. We're writing the story together. So everybody who's involved in this is going to pitch in and help us create these action stories. And we're going to be talking about what we can do in one of the breakout sessions. If you're interested, hop into that one. The second one is our organizational Ikigai workshops. We're starting those tomorrow with Gimbal Labs, but later on, once we figure out a good way to run these, hopefully with Kamba and some other organizations who wants to run these. So if you're interested, drop a message in our Discord and we'll see if we can run one of these workshops for you to understand your organization better, what your community's perspectives on your organizations are in a totally different way. And next week, at this time again, we have our Law and the New Order workshops. This is one of our proposals in the legal challenge. This is our great legal team from Pivotal Legal who are also here today. Thanks for being here. They're going to be taking questions from us, answering your questions about earning from Catalyst, what it means to, in a legal sense, what are our obligations. So if you have any questions on that front, hop into our call next week and answer. And at this point, I'd like to give it off to you guys if you want to hop in and tell us about what you will be doing next week. That would be appreciated. Sinam, Batu.
Asana, would you like to take the lead on this? We can't hear you. Asana, we can't hear you. Okay, I would like to introduce myself. By the way, it's a lovely community. It's been a great pleasure to meet all of you. My name is Batuhan. I'm a research assistant in a Turkish university, multiple university in Faculty of Law. And currently I'm working on my master's thesis and I'm working with Pivotal Legal at the same time. Asana is our one of our senior lawyers.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, Asana, we can hear you.
Hi, everyone. I'm very glad to meet you all with the community as well. As Batuhan said, we're from Tevatolo and we'll be doing the proposal next week. And we're going to do a workshop tomorrow, next week. And our proposal is based on taxation of crypto assets, basically within Turkey, the United States and Europe. So we will be glad if you join us next week on a Saturday, if I'm not wrong.
Oh, it's on Monday at this hour.
Really? Okay.
It's exactly in one week.
Oh, yes, it's Monday. I'm sorry. Okay. So yes, our first proposal is on taxation of crypto assets. We will talk about the next proposal that we have in line. But for now, this is the first main topic. And Batuhan, if there is something you would like to add.
Not really. You covered all the things that we shall.
Okay, in Turkey, we're mainly our expertise. We are experts in the areas of IP law, technology, metaverse, NFT, blockchain, and crypto. So we will be helping you with the solutions that we have regarding cryptos, blockchain, metaverse, DOAs at some point. DAOs, sorry. So we will be talking about these. And yes, we're happy to be in the Project Catalyst at this point.
Thank you, Asina, Batuhan. So next week, we'll be starting with our legal workshops where we talk about the taxation through Catalyst. But in the future, we're also going to be running workshops on things that interest all of us, like what are DAO frameworks that maybe we need to take a look at. We are building our own IP, the Action NFT. We'll be doing payments using this system. So what does that mean? We're going to be exploring that. And any questions you have on the legal side, just hop in these calls or just drop a message in Discord and we'll be looking to investigate those and answer all those questions that involve all of us. And one last thing is our token engineering learners cohort. If you guys are familiar with this, is Token Engineering Fundamentals as a course, and we're studying it together. We just hosted the second session, I think yesterday. And we do these as our community kind of learns and picks it up and comes to teach us. So if you're taking that course, if you want to teach it to others to learn it better, please come and share with us, and we could discuss it. We can do workshops on all our different projects to understand token engineering better. And that's pretty much it. Thank you, guys. And we have this little survey. It's already been shared in the chat. We're trying to start collecting all these ikigais, investigating this ikigai concept. So already in the chat, or you can scan right here. But thank you all. And
Yay.
exactly 1 hour. Nice.
Great.
Thank you. Is it possible that I hop in again for a second?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, perfect. Since I know that our proposal is presented on Discord as well, we didn't receive any comments or any further comments from you regarding US and the taxation of crypto assets on US and Europe. So we may need that regarding the next presentation that we're going to do. So if you have any comments regarding that, we'll be glad to have those as well.
So let's share the document that we're talking about. So if you guys are interested in
Yes, please.
this
We'll be
topic,
glad to have any questions or any comments that you can have. I'll be happy to answer it before the presentation. So maybe we can limit the questions that we're going to receive and answer them
There we go.
before.
yeah, it's much better to have these questions earlier on so that the legal team can prepare. So please take a look at the stock and jump into a legal channel if you have any questions about earning through Catalyst.
Yes, thank you.
Right, thank you. To close this off, before we jump into the breakout rooms, Newman, can you do like a happy birthday little fish thing that we can do like and then close it off?
Like a screenshot or
I don't know. You're like 1, 2, 3.
Oh,
Happy birthday.
oh, just do that weird ramp up thing that I do. Like everybody, like, okay, let's all like, okay, get ready for one. Everybody, shake your hands up in the thing, and I will take a picture. Come off your, come onto your webcam. Do one of these guys. We'll take a picture in 3, 2, 1. Looking good. Looking good. All right.
Happy birthday, little fish. Yay.
Perfect. Perfect.
Oh, thank you.